PowerPoint up while you're doing this, or?
Oh, whatever is most comfortable for you.
Oh, I was just wondering because I wasn't sure if you were reading straight from that or not, and people wanted the visual. I am totally good, but you just let me know.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we can shoot without it. I'm kind of
Perfect.
just skipping around.
Send
Uh,
it.
so some of the other education benefits that are available are the Montgomery GI Bill active duty, also known as Chapter 30. So you may have been hearing a little bit about this benefit. Recently, there was a pretty big court decision called Rudisill. It used to be that you had to relinquish your Montgomery GI Bill, Chapter 30, in order to pick up the Chapter 33. And now they're going back and
I actually
giving
have
people
that
back
website ready if you want me to pop that up.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, if you can pop the Rudisill website up, that would be great.
uh, there we go. Let me pop that forward. There you go. So yeah, I do have it here, and we can just scroll down through that. So I'm gonna read it out since I have it up in front of me just a little bit, and then you can give the breakdown of it if that works. So education and training, it's here. I will drop the link. I did see the comment there. We do have a question. I also wanted to bring something up. Thank you for those that thank Wendy. Please let me know in the chat if the YouTube and Twitch is live again. We drop the entire stream crashed. I had to restart it. Please let me know in the chat. So Rudisill decision update. Okay, that's the link in the chat. I'll put it in YouTube in a second. On April 16, 2024, the Supreme Court of the United States decided that if you served at least 2 periods of service, one that qualifies for Montgomery GI Bill and another that qualifies for post 9/11 GI Bill, you may be able to receive additional GI Bill benefits. And I will have questions about this as well. I think that's super interesting. And starting off, we got 2 questions for you. One from me, which was, and you had said, spoken about serving after 9/11. I don't remember. I don't remember how I heard it, but basically, I was a pre 9/11 and post 9/11 veteran, so I was able to access both. And I was
Yeah.
gonna just mention that, and then you had Jumpmaster. Twitch is back. Thank you so much, dude. And everyone else, thank you guys. He said, Doggummit. I try to read it in the way it's written. My 15 years just ran out March 1st. Well, we have the expert here to speak on that. So I think I could pass that question to you, if that sounds good, before we pop onto that
Yeah.
Rudisill.
Sure, sure. Yeah. So if your 15 years just ran out, there are some other programs that you can utilize. If you do have a service-connected condition, you can apply for the Chapter 31, also known as Veteran Readiness and Employment. And a lot of times that 15-year window can be overlooked
Mm,
with that program.
got you. Still doing a little bit of tech here, but yeah, I use 30, I use 30, 33 and 31. I used 31 to get my esports management and business administration bachelor's. I was on like the 15-year program for my associates. So I went to school. Thank you, Jumpmaster, by the way, for popping in on YouTube and let me know what's up. Yeah, so here's the deal. And Merritt can expand on this. And then obviously I want to get her right into Rudisill. And again, respect of her time. So, and no question is stupid. Like, and ask whatever you guys. This is the time to ask, okay, while you're alive. And you can, of course, reach out to me after. But basically, I worked in a tactical field. I continued on with my infantry skills and being a first responder and things like that for about 20 years, okay? And maybe a little bit more if we included my time in the service and whatnot. That being said, I was really experiencing like that. I was watching a lot of people pass early on because of stress related illnesses. I would say, like, saw a lot of heart attacks, saw a lot of strokes, things like that. It was really sad. And I thought, man, that might be me. And I was really having a lot of anxiety and issues, man. Like, I wasn't able to respond to things, extreme crisis, like I did when I was 25. And So I reached out to VA and I said, hey, what are my options here? I would really like to get a new career. And somebody said, hey, there's this thing called vocational rehabilitation, now known as VRNE, Veteran Readiness and Employment, Chapter 31. And I'm just stating my experience. I'm not stealing, I don't want to steal any thunder from Marit, but long story short, I was able to get into a degree of gaming and build my own business. And that was incredible. Changed my life and is the entire story of the channel. So that's why that is why the link today is set the way it is. But this is about getting information for you. So if that makes sense, how I ended up using all three benefits, and maybe that's you. But what are you thinking on this question with the 15-year term limit there? Can you hear
So
me?
I
Oh,
think,
okay.
yep. So I think if you have a service connected disability, I would definitely reach out and apply for the Chapter 31 program. And just like a full disclosure, the Chapter 31 program falls under a separate business line than education service. Although there's a lot of like overlapping opportunities within both business lines. So that's why I do talk about it in our presentation, but it is a very separate service line than education
That
benefits.
that's super huge that you expanded on that too, because she's right. I was 90% service connected, and it was in relation to uh like the PTSD part of it and the disabilities related to mental health and stress. And so it made sense in my case. And you might be something different. Maybe you might be paraplegic or something like that. You may have limb loss. It might be something completely different from that. Illness, I don't know. There's many different things, but yeah, the disability part's a big part, right? 30%, is it?
Actually, for that, at least 10.
Oh, so that's huge. That's literally a question I had. I didn't know, and I'm sure a lot of people do. OMG Brand asked, if I use my post 9/11 to complete an associate's degree, can I use it to start another degree if I still have months left? I also have Montgomery, so another
Yes, you can.
Cold War post
Yep.
and GWAT vet.
Yep. We have a lot of veterans that utilize their benefits for both an associate's and a bachelor's. So that isn't a problem. Um, just when you run out of benefits, you run out of benefits. And so
Mm-hmm.
then you want to make sure you're planning appropriately for if you're going to run out of entitlement while you're in that bachelor's program, how you're going to fund it. And there's a lot of different ways to do that.
Yeah, I personally I had like 5 months left of my post 9/11. Like once I swapped from my original GI Bill, Montgomery GI Bill to post 9/11, I had a few months left, and they authorized me, I think like 20 or 24 months to finish up my bachelor's degree, and I speed ran it for you gamers out there. But I got a 4.0. I did it from a mama. She walked me out of high school as a dropout in my senior year to join the army. So yeah, that was my thing. I know I've been chatting on a lot, but I think if I can draw a lot of your questions, this is probably the one of the most requested like materials to cover. And we have a lot to cover too. So I'm sorry, Merritt. That's awesome.
Yeah, no,
OMG
no,
said.
no problem.
I want to
Yeah,
I want to make people confident in asking their questions today and not feeling silly because it's like an amazing opportunity. So where did you want
yeah,
to head from here? And I'll read back into the see if I'm missing any comments.
sure. So I was just going to talk a little bit about the eligibility for Montgomery GI Bill, and
Hmm.
that one is 2 years of continuous enlistment. Minimum duty varies by the service and branch. And then if you're eligible for that benefit, there's an expiration of from 10 years of your last day of active duty. And then the amount of entitlement for that one is 36 months. Do we have anybody? Can we just kind of poll the audience? Do we have anybody that's listening in today that's still in like a reserve component?
Is there anybody that's currently serving? We do have plenty of community members that are still continuing on. I'm not sure anybody viewing at this
Gwendy
exact
Gaming
moment is.
27 removed
Yo,
ads for
Gwendy,
Brick
thank
Yeah.
you.
Brick
Well,
Warriors.
Gwendy's just
They
dropping
have
gifted.
gifted 6 total.
So it's because ads come up for if you're not subscribed to the channel. So she's removing ads for folks, for all the veterans to be able to that are asking questions, so they don't get. If you get an advertisement, they literally may miss the most important piece of information you say. So she's just being a legend right now. So Pacheesy, I might say that wrong. Correct me if it's just Peach Easy. Sounds like Peach Easy. Last day of active duty is April 30th. Currently on terminal leave. So there you go. Like there you go. There's
Okay.
one.
Okay, cool. So we do have a benefit for people that are still in the selective reserves. So this benefit is called 1606. Maybe because you're on terminal leave and you already have an end date, this doesn't qualify you. But if there's anybody rewatching this later, just for the 1606, it does end the last day you leave selective reserves. You have to have 6 years continuous enlistment. That's going to give you 36 months of entitlement. So that's just one that I wanted to talk a little bit about. The next one that I want to talk about, which is super important, is not specifically for veterans, but their family members. So the Dependents Education Assistant, also called DEA or Chapter 35. Um, so there's going to be 36 months of entitlement for that for a spouse or a child. Um, and the spouse has 10 to 20 years to use the benefit if they became eligible before August 1st of 23. And the child can use it ages 18 to 26 years old if they became eligible before 8/1 of 23. Becoming eligible for this benefit after 8/1 of 23 gives no expiration. So a really
Wendy
popular
Gaming
program,
27
Dependents
removed ads
Education
for Brick
Assistance
by Brick
Program, DEA,
Warriors.
also
They
called
have
Chapter
57
35. And I know
total.
you mentioned that, Justin. Really good program that's out there.
Yeah, that's freaking awesome. Um, Jumpmaster just kind of comedically said something that I kind of agree with, but it's kind of funny. It's more of a politically correct term that has been that happens all the time. It's bureaucracy of the government, right? So he said, Chap 31, Voc Rehab for us old vets has been renamed regardless of name as Chapter 31. It's like, yeah. And I said, Voc Rehab FTW. It's like, yeah, you're changing your vocation for, in like my case, it's kind of fitting because I really needed a vocation. I need a career change, right? So that's was the thought process, I believe. And then obviously it was changed to veteran readiness employment. And that is a big component. I can tell you from my experience, I was like thrust into, we want you employed. We want you in gainful employment. And that's a huge, you need purpose, right? So this is why we're here today. And if you're like on the edge or you're like, man, a 1% chance I'll go to school. Look, whether it goes to your family members or yourself, and that's all going to be discussed by Marit, but like, look, you really need to consider this benefit as one of the greatest benefits that you have. And I wasn't going to use mine. And like literally when I was at my lowest point, it changed my entire life. And I'm just giving you an authentic, straight up, genuine, as most of you know me, straight off the cuff, who I am, experience. And I think this is incredibly important. And I'm really grateful you're here, Marit, to discuss it today because this is probably one of the most important interviews I've ever wanted to conduct. And I'm just yapping. So yeah, we'll continue on.
Yeah. Yeah, so the other benefit that kind of falls under DEA is the Fry Scholarship, and that offers some additional benefit. So anybody that qualifies for DEA may
What are
also
those two?
qualify for.
What are those two things? What is DEA? What is Fry Scholarship?
So the DEA is what I just described, the Dependents Education Assistance, DEA Chapter 35. And then the Fry Scholarship falls under that. So there's a few different additional benefits that somebody can get for the Fry Scholarship, but it's specifically for not veterans. It's for family members of a veteran. Um, so just be aware that if you're getting those DEA benefits, there's also the Fry Scholarship under that benefit. And then I'm going to move into kind of another topic for actually the guy that's on terminal leave. This is helpful. Um, we get a lot of questions about transfer of entitlement. Uh, so we get a lot of questions about this. So in order to transfer entitlement over to a family member, you do have to do that before you get out. So like, and the person that you want to give the entitlement to has to be in the DEERS system. So that does go by branch. And so if there's any specific questions, you have to contact your career counselor or personnel center. But very important point for people that are still serving to make sure you do your transfers before you get out, because you can't transfer anything after you get out. So that's the main point I want to hit on that transfer of entitlement today.
Solid copy. Real quick as well, another question before I forget. Um, so, and I know you want to get on that, but I have this TB, I'll forget. I'm wondering, how easy is it to transfer your benefits to your kids or your wife or husband or whatever? Like what,
Um,
you know what I mean? Like for the vets out there who are just like, look, I have my career, I own a business, I weld, and I'm never gonna change that job. I love what I do. I don't want to lose it. Is that a pretty simple process, or like, I wouldn't maybe say simple, but is it very kind of straightforward? Is in the fact that like if you're not going to use it, you could pass it on. Can you, if your
yeah,
kids are
yeah.
1 year, if your kid's 1 year old, 1 years old, what I don't know, I'm saying that right. Can you postpone that and you know what I mean?
Well, as long as they're listed as a family member in DEERS, you can transfer it over. There are some eligibility requirements, just like any other VA benefit. You have to have completed 6 years of service and agree to serve 4 additional years. And then the person does have to be enrolled in the DEERS program. And you just do it in Mill Connect to make the transfer. And then you can also change or revoke transfer of entitlement
Oh,
as
so
well, right?
6 years is
Right.
like, that's like, you have to have had 6 years active duty or reserve component.
And then agree to 4 additional years
So
in
it's not
order
a,
to do the
it's
transfer.
yeah. So it's not like typical 8 year contract. It's a 10 year contract.
Right, right.
So
So,
basically,
and
you would have to
each,
re-enlist it at some point.
yep. And then each of the different branches really handles all of that.
Okay,
So,
that's huge to know. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
yeah, no, that's all I really had on the transfer of entitlement. But we're gonna move right along to the GI Bill comparison tool. This is an amazing tool. I think it's one of the more amazing tools that we do have. So if you just go on to GI Bill comparison tool, like Google that and go to it, it allows you, and this is more if you're like starting to look at going to school, it's like a planning process that you might want to use, because you compare up to 3 schools side by side, and it'll also help you calculate your benefits to like help you determine what your MHA will be, so you can like plan and budget for what it's going to look like when you're in school.
Okay, so what
So,
is this tool? Can I I spelled forever wrong, Jump Master. I'm an idiot. I have a couple questions for you after that from chat, but what is the link? Where am I
uh,
grabbing that?
uh,
You can just give me
if
the
you just
website.
go, yeah, let me
No, I
let
mean
me
like
grab
Google,
that.
whatever I would type in Google. I'll get it quick.
Oh, GI Bill comparison tool.
Okay. So yeah, Jump Master, VOD will be up forever. You can come back. Have a good rest. It's literally a veteran of affairs website. Okay. So you know that this is a good link. All right. If I'm not mistaken, and I'm just double checking with Merit, I'm going to post it in both chat.
Yep,
va.gov /education/GI Bill comparison tool. Correct?
yep, you got
Okay.
it.
Sending it. This will be in the chat. Now, there was an interesting question by Peacheesy, which I said I don't believe that to be the case. I think she answered it. You might already have the answer. Just to verify, DEA is for dependents of deceased or 100% disabled vets. I don't think so. I don't know. Merit's here to. I think she went over. It was just the 6 years, 6 and 4.
That was for transfer of entitlement. So for survivors and dependents, yes, there are eligibility
Oh,
requirements
so
for that.
DEA is that's different? That's what I guess I was asking earlier.
Uh, yep. So Chapter 35 is the Survivors and Dependents Education Assistance Program, and that's different than the transfer of entitlement.
Got you.
So transfer, yep, yep.
Okay, so we have another one here. Same piece says, also, if you re-enlist for 4 years to transfer your benefits, you only have 30 days to get Mill Connect to give them the benefit. I went to do it on day 35 and missed it. Interesting.
Oh man, I didn't know that part. So thank you for posting that.
Yeah, and P Cheesy says, maybe I'm reading this wrong. If you're the child or spouse of a veteran, I guess you're reading this online, of a veteran or service member who has died, is captured, missing, is permanently totally disabled due to a service-connected disability, you may be eligible for the Survivors Independent Educational Assistance Program. See, I was just kind
Yeah,
of going on, well, if you had that, like, I guess, yeah, that would very much apply in that scenario, right? For the heroes of the country that have those circumstances, that's there, right? But the transfer is where you are here, able to make a conscious decision and can transfer, if I'm not mistaken, which is
yeah,
going to be the
yeah. So
case
those,
for quite obviously, if you're viewing the channel today, that would be the case, right? But if you know somebody who's under the other circumstances, then, obviously we can answer both.
yeah, yeah. The DEA program, there's definitely eligibility requirements. That the veteran has to be permanently and totally disabled, or they died as a result of a service-connected disability. They died in the line of duty. Uh, they're missing in action, or they were forcibly detained. There's a whole list of eligibility requirements for the spouse or the children to be eligible for that DEA. So you're going to want to look into that if you think you're eligible to see. And then there's some things for if you're the child or if you're the spouse that are different. So but just doing kind of a high level overview of that today.
Beautiful. All right. So is that where you're headed next? Or
uh
you were jumping on
well, we did comparison tool. There's another one that I could jump on, which is PCPG, personalized career planning and guidance.
I also don't think we
So
covered Rudisill.
yeah, we're gonna do that on the last slide.
Okay,
So I'll
okay.
cover that on the last slide. Yep.
Sounds good.
But the PCPG, just like you were talking about your journey, Justin, uh, you know, it helps people. It's also called Chapter 36, and it provides guidance and assistance to help with like personalized career and education plans. Maybe you don't know what you want to do when you grow up. And so it helps like assess your skills, your abilities, your interests, and kind of sets up career goals for you, really. And so that is something that veterans can be eligible for. If they, so people that are leaving active duty soon can qualify for PCPG, or if you've been discharged within the last year. Um, so those are the kind of eligibility requirements for that PCPG, the Chapter 36. So that's another great program that we have.
Copy, copy.
Um,
I didn't even know. I like
yeah,
literally didn't even know there was Chap 36. But you know
yeah,
what?
yeah.
That's everybody. I mean, I have this conversation. All my kids are like, all older, college bound. That you don't know what you're gonna do at then. I didn't know what I wanted to do at 30. Yeah, I switched my original benefits when I was still working in a career field that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I didn't know what I want to do then. I changed my degree 7 times. So, very information.
Yeah,
Don't.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna read that whole thing. That's why I just said, yeah, no, this is great info, P. But he was just chatting about how you have 2 years if you reenlist for 6 years because you have 335 days. There's a lot of math in there. But thank you for expanding. So, Army vet says I'm 38 and still don't know what I want to do. Dude, no, I totally get it. I was even questioning if going into esports management and business administration was the way to go. Because at the end of when I was in this, even because the thing is like you get there, you're like, oh, I absolutely want to do this. I can help you a little bit with that because that's what I'm about. I'm gonna do that very, very quickly. Uh Basically, look, go do like personality assessments online. Chapter 31 will make you do them. Will make you like see where you're fitting. What's your hospitality rating, what's your like technical skills, kind of like doing your ASVAB. But interesting part is you can do this on your own. And I highly recommend you do it because, like, look, you could be super interested in day trading and like stocks and crypto and real estate and all this different stuff, right? Like personal asset growth. Maybe you didn't like for me, you didn't come from anything and you like dealing with financial things to scale yourself up. But when you go to school for it and you realize that you're in a desk every day and you're a tactical guy or gal, it might not be for you to be the whole suit and tie thing. You know what I mean? So like you need to kind of assess that. I think it will greatly benefit you. That is my like spiel to you, right? So I think that's super important. And it sounds like chapter 36 may be kind of that route. Gwendy says for DEA, what if you were 70% with IU total and permanent? Question mark.
No, it's permanently and totally disabled.
Mm-hmm.
But I, you know what? That's a good question, actually, if you have individual unemployability. I can, you know what? Can you just, I can get the answers to that question. But I don't have it right now.
Yeah,
So
you
can we
need
take
that.
that one back?
This happens all the time. So don't worry about it. We sometimes live we do like that. Who wants to be a millionaire? Would you like to call a friend? It's not like
I need,
we do
I,
it. We
I
do that
need,
shit all the time.
I
So
need to phone a friend. I need
yeah,
to
yeah,
phone a friend.
yeah.
So if we can just get that contact information of who that's from, um, I
Gotcha.
do have an email address too that they could email me the question to, that we can get to them at the end, as well. So,
I'm gonna give you two
uh,
options here. Uh, Gwendy, you can get a hold of me. Like obviously, various. This is for everybody else. Gwendy, you just hit me up. However you want to do it. You can do it Discord, phone, whisper me, it doesn't matter, and I will get you connected. I'll make it happen. Like
yeah,
that.
that's typically, yeah. Donnie typically helps people get connected to me on Discord. So
Donnie's
if
my
you could,
lifeline. Like that's my lifeline guy.
yes,
I'm on live all the time and I'm
yeah,
like 11 o'clock at night, 2 o'clock in the morning sometimes. But I'm like, I had a question. And he's like 15 minutes later, 15 seconds later sometimes. Paragraph. Exactly. I'm like, this dude. He is a legendary freaking Marine that also works VA. So it's just amazing guy. Love that guy. Yeah. So
yeah. So hopping into,
yep,
oh,
go ahead.
sorry, go
Send
ahead.
no, send it. Send it. That's what I was getting to.
Yeah. So another really awesome benefit under Yellow Ribbon, it's specifically just under that post 9/11 Chapter 33 benefit is Yellow Ribbon. So there is a cap of how much tuition and fees and things like that that VA will pay per, year. And so if you're going to like a higher out of state school, although there's a lot of protections that they're not supposed to be charging the out of
Wendy
state for
Gaming
veterans,
27 removed
uh,
ads for Brick by
at
Brick
private school
Warriors.
or
They have
graduate school
gifted 8
tuition, because
total.
those can really exceed the cap pretty quickly. This program is amazing. So if you're looking at like a little bit of a higher cost school as you're planning, you're going to want to see if they are part of the Yellow Ribbon program. So what the Yellow Ribbon program is a facility can agree to be a Yellow Ribbon facility, and so they'll match anything above and beyond that cap. So with VA. So they'll each institution is different on how much they'll provide, but let's say the institution provides $5,000, then VA will match that. So that's for anything above and beyond our cap. So really good program. You really want to, if you're looking at a higher cost school, you're going to want to really research that to see if the school that you're going to has a Yellow Ribbon agreement with VA. So just wanted to highlight that program. And kind of moving right along, another really great program if you're studying STEM. Uh, There is the science, technology, engineering, and math. That's what STEM stands for. Um, we have the Rogers STEM Scholarship, and that's going to offer an additional 9 months of benefits or $30,000 for any undergraduate degree, dual degree, or certain clinical training programs. And those scholarships are awarded on a monthly basis. And for this one, those eligibility requirements are a little bit funky. So you have to have completed a certain portion of your program before you can like apply. Um, so you have to, if you're in a semester hour program, you have to have completed at least 120 semester hours or 180 quarter credit hours. Uh, I'm sorry. Let me go back, Justin.
Mhm.
You have to have completed at least 60 semester hours if you're in a program
Hold on, cut out there. Hopefully, everything's still good. Let me know that the signal's good.
credit hours for completion.
There you go. Can you say that again?
So there's
Discord had a weak signal. What was that again?
60, you have to have completed at least 60 semester hours if you're in a program that is 120 semester hours to complete, or 90 quarter credit hours towards a degree that takes 100 or 80 quarter credit hours to complete. Um, and then you also have to apply when you have less than 6 months of your post 9/11 GI Bill left. So there's some very unique situations of where you need to be within your program, and then also how much benefits you can have left when you apply. But it does offer that 9 months or $30,000 of extended benefit. So it's really worth it.
Absolutely. Patty, what's good, man? Welcome on in. Good to see your videos coming in strong. This is the guy who made my intro video over here. Super clean edit. He is an Army Iraq veteran himself. He's been with me for a long time. Came to visit, did the thing live here. We met in a video game. So another great dude. And he just recently posted a pretty cool video that's going viral for a brand new channel. I'll tell you that. Very talented dude. Some of y'all could reach out. We'll get some of the commands in chat. But a very interesting one. I just want to thank him personally. Gwendy, I got Gwendy Gaming, got her connected. I'll get you guys in a chat together. I'll make that. I'll take care of all that for you to make it easy on Discord. A lot of people a lot of good feedback saying, hey, appreciate the feedback. I want to reiterate, especially if you're just coming in. If you have any VA education benefit questions, send them in the chat. We'll be going off a lot of those as well. Appreciate them words. Yeah, no problem, Pat. You earned it, bro. I'm proud of my friends that come up. This is what this community is about. It's about scaling your life, and that's a large part about what this stream is about today. In order to do so, you often have to set, like, look, when I fell downhill, I needed to set new goals. That was a trick, man. One little brick at a time, dude. Just building that next mountain to climb, And VA education is, the affordability for us all to be able to attend the school we want to, and not have to pay for that education, in most cases. So I think it's super important. It might not be everybody's thing. Like I said, there's transfer options. We've talked about that. If you've just coming in, you can go back in the VOD rewind on YouTube and check that out. It'll be up forever. But yeah, I think it's super important to some of y'all. If you're even just slightly consider it, hit me up offline. We'll talk about it more. And I'll always have contact with Marit. So no stress on her. If you should think of something later, just hit me up. What are you thinking of next, Marit?
So just as you're planning for school, if you're like you doing that active duty to civilian transition, just some tips really. Make sure that you're requesting copies of your joint service transcript. If you were in the Air Force, Community College of the Air Force transcripts, because anything that you have on transcripts can be considered to be granted like credit to you, so you don't have to do as much to get the training that you're looking for. You can also CLEP is a term that they use, CLEP out of classes. That's a college level examination program. or take a Dante's subject standardized test.
SEAL
So
Team
you're going
Pat
to really
removed ads
want
for 5
to,
brick
if you're
by brick
planning on going to
warriors.
school,
They have
connect with
gifted
like an advisor
160
and
total.
ask them the questions about, hey, will you take these credits? Hey, will you take these credits? These are from my military experience.
We reached
Or
our new subs goal of
just
10.
ask them straight up if they
Thank
have
you
any CLEP
everyone.
opportunities or Dante's standardized test opportunities. So you can just get some credits to start with. So that's
Hype train
just
started.
the active duty to civilian education transition. And it's never too late to go back and request those JSTs or the Community College of the Air Force transcripts.
I remember hearing that
Um,
term CLEP. Yeah. And by Pat, I missed that. And Gwen, yeah, I copied what you said. Thank you for the 5 gifted. Thank you guys for popping the hype train. It's freaking dope. It's good to see a lot of people in here without ads. I got my inspiration for you, so don't thank me. Well, I'm gonna thank you anyways. But no, I remember hearing CLEP like so long ago, like super long ago.
yeah. Yeah, you're definitely going to want to make sure that if you're planning for school that you maximize your benefits, really get the most bang for your buck that you can.
Okay.
So just some tips there for transitioning from active duty to the education. And then we do have a bunch of student resources, and maybe you'll pop this into, you have the PowerPoint presentation. There are a lot of really good clickable links in there. So
Yeah. I pull them
if
up.
you want to share that out to
Mhm.
your
Let me see.
audience,
What slide are you on?
I'm on 14, and that's where like some of the really clickable links come in handy.
Let me see if I can just pull
Uh,
this up real quick. Let me see if I still have it. I want to say I did. Did I close it? I might have. I can grab it in a minute though, surely.
yeah, yeah, no worries. I can start talking about
Oh, I
some of
think
the
I had it
student
minimized.
resources.
Yeah, I
Oh, you
actually
had it.
what slide did you say it was on?
14.
14. Okay. It's freaking minimized for some reason. I gotta move a screen here and then it should pop up. Maybe it will not. Open in PowerPoint. Maybe that's what I had wrong. Yeah, that's fine. Bang. Got it. You said so it was on slide 14?
Yeah, and there's
Okay.
some really cool resources here if you just want to pop those in. So the first one is Building Your Future with GI Bill. It's a 3-part series. So the part one is like a guide to choosing your education pathway. And we had that 38-year-old didn't know what he wanted to do when he grew up. I hope he's still here. There's some really good resources in this part one series. And then also, I was going to let you know, I was just on the ONET online. Uh,
Oh yeah,
so,
I use Onet. That was the tool I used to figure out what the
yeah,
heck I was made to do. Like the
yeah. So
secondary job.
I wanted to make sure I was just on there yesterday, and they have a really cool like interest assessment that you can do on ONET online. So that might be of interest to um I think it's moved to so there's still ONET online, but there's like My Next Move,
I can't
and you
click
can
these for
go,
some reason, but I'm listening.
oh, okay.
Um,
So how
we
so you
could get
can
a
go to
list or
ONET.
something.
Yeah, we can do that. But the ONET interest profiler, um, and then there's like My Next Move. Couple good resources for people that are exploring kind of what they want to do when they grow up. Um, and then part two is a better understanding of your benefits. We've gone through, some of the benefits today, but some people learn by hearing this presentation. Some people learn better by reading, so
You want the
um,
onetonline.org or you want the resource center? Like it's the
um,
same website, but one is the resources of
it-
Onet,
it-
one is just like homepage, landing page.
uh, the onetonline.org, and then there's the ONET interest profiler and
Wendy
My Next
Gaming
Move links
27 removed
after
ads
it
for
says,
brick
I
by
want to
brick
be a,
warriors. They have
you
gifted
see
9
that?
total.
I'm looking. I want to be a, yeah. So the interest
Yeah,
profiler,
yeah.
that's what you want?
Yeah. And then
Got
the
it.
My Next Move is a pretty good site. I was just on yesterday.
Thank you guys
So
for
that's
popping that hype train. My bad.
yeah. So check that out. And then the part 3 series is a guide to navigating your career. So after you figure out what you want to, get trained in and what benefits you're going to use, and then you can have some help navigating your career. So there's that 3-part series that is a really, really good series. It's very well put together. The other thing that we have on this slide is just like the how to stay up to date on GI Bill benefits. So we do have a Facebook page. I don't know if any of you all are on Facebook anymore, but we do have a Facebook page where we do post some stuff. We do have an email subscription, and then we do have, so if you have like I always say this when I'm presenting, if you have like a very specific to you situation, um, the best thing for you to do is going to be to reach out to ask.va.gov. I don't have access to all the systems that the processors do to like look up specific individual situations.
Is
So
there
if you have like,
is
oh, go
there a
ahead.
way we could take all this info that's in here, all the links that sorry, my wife, there's no silence for my wife's ringer. I'll take that in a second. So is there a way we could get all these links and all this info and compile it and post it in announcements in Discord? Like I can handle it, but I think that would be best for everyone. Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah. And I know.
maybe, yeah, I'll figure I could put it on the website. I could do a couple different things there that would work.
Yeah. And if we can work together to get that done.
Cool.
But yeah. So individual situations, you're gonna want to call the
The
GI Bill
number on there?
hotline that's on,
Oh,
or
okay.
my advice, you can do either or, but ask.va.gov is gonna allow you to do it on your time. There's not hours, and then you just submit your inquiry, and then you're gonna get a written response back. Um,
Okay.
So I suggest ask.va.gov, but if you're more of wanting to pick up the phone and call people, there's the GI Bill hotline on there, and then there's a couple of good websites there.
Perfect. So
Uh,
we did have a comment.
oh,
I
sure, go
I
ahead.
remember Klept was like test out. Yeah, it was a lot. I mean, for us
Yeah,
old 20-year-old, you know what I mean, 20-year out veterans, and yeah, it was like it's funny. But venture with a G said I use a lot. Or I use a lot. I completely read a different message already. There. My brain's always. I use Klep to get my CCAF from the Air Force. Got picked up for SCLEP, SLEP, I don't know, SLECP. I don't know what I'm talking about. Got my bachelor's from University of Arizona. And then used my GI Bill to get my Master of Science from Columbia. That's incredible. I still have more left over. The moral is take advantage of those. And I totally agree. And somebody said, look, I want to get paid. I don't know how to do it. Like, look, this is a very important thing that I had been planning and almost forgot to say over the last like 2 weeks. If you're in a position where you're not satisfied, you're not passionate about what you do, truly think about that. Maybe you think you are, and you're scared to make a new change. You're worried what your wife or husband will say. Look, you can do it a piece at a time. You know, I always say the brick by brick thing was not the name I created, but it was given to me. And the elephant analogy, you eat an elephant one bite at a time. It's kind of the same thing. There's options. But the thing is that like the step moving forward, if you're scared, think about what you make money-wise or whatever. And then when you start talking about BAH and getting paid while you're in school, it suddenly opens your eyes a little bit to the risk assessment, whether you want to stay in your career and do education at the same time. I did it. I not like patted myself on the back. I'm just telling you that I went to my job, I raised a family, and did school a couple classes at a time over many years in the beginning, my first 2 years. And you can too. When you're excited about what you're doing in school, when you start seeing your future success, it motivates the hell out of you. So just think about that. and you don't have to be in a like typical like, doctorate or something like that job. There's classes out there for you, especially like I know with VR&E, you can do like specialized. Like my boy went for auto body. Another dude I knew went for tattooing and opening his own shop and entrepreneurship. There's a lot of different things you can do. I just want to mention that. Seniors, so this is what SLECP stands for, Senior Leaders Enlisted Commissioning Program. Sick. Thank you for the feedback on that, by the way. And I'll send it back over to you, Marit.
Yeah, so the last couple of slides that we have are just beyond your GI Bill benefits. We have a couple of resources there. There's Hiring Our Heroes. We do have a program if you're like in the category of not having any benefits left. I know somebody said that they have some benefits expiring or did just have some benefits expire. We do have a IBM Skills Build program. There's no entitlement that you need to have. It's just a program that VA has partnered with IBM. In order to get notifications about that, you'd want to be subscribed to the email subscriptions. They send out those different signups for that IBM Skills Build, and there's like over 1,000 courses in cybersecurity, things like that. So that's a cool benefit that you could take advantage of without having any entitlement left. There's Warrior Scholar Project, Children of Fallen Patriots Foundation. Federal student aid is important to know about. Some people do choose to apply for federal student aid, even though VA is covering most of the costs for the education, because there are still some grants and scholarships that you can qualify for by applying for federal student aid. And some people do end up taking out some loans while they're going to school, even though VA is covering most of it. They just need it to live. And that's what they choose to do to finance their education. There is also
She means most of us do that, just like the Star Card, and some don't do it. Not advising you to do it. By no means, no financial advice. I'm just saying it's kind of funny because you'll find that a lot of veterans do that still too. Because it's just so tempting sometimes when you're hurting and trying to make it by to your next step in life. I get it, man. I like totally get it. But yeah, heavily think that one out before you do it.
Yeah, but you still can
It's
apply
right for
just
you.
to get the grants and the scholarships too. Even if you're not going to take out the loans, it may qualify you for Pell Grants,
I got
scholarships.
mine. Yeah, I got Pell Grants and federal
Yeah,
grants and everything. I got mine for my 4 years.
yeah,
And
yeah.
again, not financial advice, but look, if you're under a 20% car shark loan, sometimes that 8% is a little better option. You know what I mean? To pay that off. So I don't know. I'm not giving you any ideas. I'm just throwing it out there. You know what I mean? I'm saying I'm guilty of it. That's what I'm telling you. So yeah. Anyways.
Yes. Another resource so a lot of people think of education. So I just want to like get up on my soapbox for a minute, and they think of associates, bachelors, masters. That's what they think we cover. We do cover those things. We absolutely cover those things. We also cover OJT and apprenticeships, and we
Certificates and
also
stuff, right?
cover,
Like licensing
yeah,
and
yeah,
things like that, right?
non-college degree. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just getting ready to do a whole presentation on our licensing and certification options. Those are things we pay for, but you do have to pay out of pocket and then we reimburse. But it's not just associates, bachelors, masters. There's OJT and apprenticeship opportunities, where we pay the difference between, like the apprentice wage and the journeyman wage. And so there is that option. The non-college degree programs, truck driving, welding, cosmetology school, all of those. And if you want to explore whether a facility is approved, you can use that comparison tool. So we do programmatic approvals. So not all colleges are automatically approved for GI Bill benefits. So you're going to want to do your homework if you decide that you're planning to go to school, and make sure that they are approved for GI Bill benefits.
Yeah, VA
And
is
like
trying to look out, like, no lie here. Like, you know me, I say it like it is, but the VA is looking out for you. They don't want predatory schools. They don't want any crap. They don't want you to go and be like, what, that school doesn't exist. That's a nice degree, but it looks like a piece of paper you printed out. You know what I mean? And I think OJT, on job training, so like literally that might be for a lot of people in the field learning. Do I have that acronym correct?
Yeah, yeah, you're absolutely right. On the job training or apprenticeships. And there's actually, I always thought of apprenticeships as, HVAC, plumbing,
Mhm.
electrical. There's actually some states that are doing like non-traditional apprenticeships with like very, they're called emerging apprenticeships, and they're not just like in those plumbing, electrical, HVAC type stuff. They're in like uh very interesting, like some states have school teachers where you can do an apprenticeship to become a school teacher. um Very different, not all like get your hands dirty type stuff, where you can learn how to be like a child care worker, things like that. I know Wisconsin has a very strong emerging apprenticeship programs.
Emerging
So
market schooling, like things like that. I do have a couple comments to read out for you here
yeah.
as well. Tomax, what's good, man? Hey, welcome in. I will get you that. So asking about a VSO near Camp Pendleton. Just wasted nearly 3 years of my claim. Got rejected. Common questions that come in. So no problem. This is a place to ask it. Should have filed different dependency claim. Did and have to start over. Need a VSO. We got you.
Gwendy
I got you.
Gaming
I'll get you in
27
contact with
removed
Donnie.
ads for Brick by Brick Warriors.
Uh,
They have gifted 10 tokens.
Gwendy, thank you for putting NAC VSO for the, so already getting the community. You're already getting a network, bro. It's proving what I was saying at the beginning. Thank you guys for answering that as well. I did want to say, I think this is a really good, I don't know, like point to be looking at is that the story, again, not trying to fluff up the story here, but this goes back to like, whoever your mentor in life says, this was the worst answer you get. No? You get told no? Okay. Well, you're not going to get any answer if you don't ask, right? But the reason why, like, we're expanding into VA gaming and esports and stuff, I'm not going to lie, I was going to own this one and tell you that part of that is my story because I was told no initially. No, we don't do that, blah, blah, blah. When we expanded on tools and we showed other veterans that had already been approved and fought this process, you may be the change that another veteran needs. And that's why I do what I do. Because when I was asked to do this, I said, no, I ain't doing that, dude. Why? I'm not a VA fan. Even though VA massively changed and improved my life, this isn't like a shot. I have no connection in that way or any reason to say it. I'm just saying it because it benefits you. Use your damn benefits. Because like what you may experience may help your friend or a friend you don't even know you have yet. Because the VA is changing a lot of how education is looked at. And you have some very old bylaws. You have some stuff that goes back to like 1800s. You know what I mean? So like seeing this good change, is really, really positive. That's why the channel, that's why I started. And I think it's very important that if you're like, I really want to go to this, but I don't think it'll be a yes. I have friends that have done crazy stuff. And I think that's what Merritt's kind of expanding on a little bit, or I'm expanding on what Merritt said. And it's important because you may be taking a beach per se for others in the future in an amazing career that you never thought possible. AR, VR tech. As she said, like literally like within, the farming industry. Like I said, my buddy did tattooing. You know what I mean? Like there's some really interesting stuff out there. The answers used to be probably no, but they're not anymore. It's changing. All right. Doesn't mean it's a guaranteed yes, but like I said, you're never going to know unless you ask. Right. So you miss 100% of the shots you can't take. This is a Wayne Gretzky quote there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, that kind of is a good segue to the state veterans offices. So if you don't have benefits available to you through VA, you've used them all. Every state typically has some pretty decent state VA benefits or veteran benefits. Uh, Wisconsin, I used to live and work there. Amazing state GI Bill program, like up to 126 credits. And you don't even have to have enlisted in Wisconsin. You can just move there and have lived there for 5 years to take advantage of that. Minnesota has a decent one. That's where I'm located now. But what you're going to want to do is just take a look. If you're like, I know a couple people said they're out of benefits. They're also each state sometimes has some decent benefits that you can use. So make sure to research. And like I was really excited about the person that got their degree from University of Arizona and then went and got their Master's of Science and used the CLEP, the CCAF, and the Senior Leaders Program to get all of those credits transferred in so they could really maximize their benefits.
Smart, like super inspirational.
Yeah, yeah, very. Like, make sure you're getting the most bang for your buck. So you're going to want to know what's available to you through VA and then through your state, maybe. I don't know that all states have amazing veteran benefits, education benefits, but I do know quite a few do. I think Texas has a pretty good one too. So you're going to want to do your research if you're planning on going to school and make sure you know everything that's available to you and like make sure you're planning appropriately on which benefit you want to use to get the most bang for your buck. Um, and then that kind of, we didn't talk hugely about the Rudisill decision, but I did want to just touch on that briefly. And you
Yeah.
did touch on that being the Supreme Court decided April 16th, 2024, that if you served at least 2 periods of service, one that qualifies you for the Montgomery GI Bill and another that qualifies you for the post 9/11 GI Bill, you may be able to receive additional GI Bill benefits. So if you relinquished your benefits from Montgomery to get post 9/11, because that's what you used to have to do, you may be eligible for some benefits. And there are some people that are automatically going to just be notified by VA. And that is a person that last received an education claim decision on or after August 15th, 2018. If you think you qualify for this and you last received an education claim decision before August 15th, 2018, then there is like a form you have to fill out and submit. But it is, and the other thing I do want to say about Rudisill is that if you think that you have these 2 periods of service and you qualify for this, if you're planning on using it like your benefits right now, go ahead and apply for it. But if you're not going to be using them for a couple years, I would wait to apply for that because you're going to be you have like till 2030 to apply for it, and that's going to make your delimiting date a little bit farther out if you wait to apply, if you're not going to be using your benefits right away. So that's my advice on Rudisill. But that's what I have for you today, Justin. Do we have any other like questions in the chat?
Nah, it's freaking awesome. Like freaking amazing. Yeah, man, this is like insanely good info. The biggest, anybody before we cut out. Amnar, by the way, I didn't miss you. I miss you, but I didn't miss your comment. Welcome in, dude. Gwendy, thank you again for everything. Pat, thank you as well for removing all those ads. The biggest thing that I get, and I received a comment, text actually from a buddy. I received a text, and this is just I'm just using this example. Battle Buddy reaches out to me, guy I served with, and says, hey, he's not applied for benefits in 24 years. And I'm like, why? And the thing is like, look, especially with education, disability, we can go all over that, but the money is allotted aside. When you sign the dotted line and you put your stipend in of that $400 paycheck you got as a private, and you put $100 of that in for a year towards your GI, but you're paying for other veterans who serve the country. When you sign that line and you fulfilled your contract and you got your DD Form 214, the VA was waiting for you to come out. It wasn't as open and well known before, but you need to make that constant decision, like in your head, that this is for you, okay? And when it comes to disability, when it comes to everything else, if something happened to you, you earned it. You know what I mean? The education is there. Like, if you're missing out on it, it's a hard one. I get it. The 15-year comment, I get it. But 100%, if you have any way of getting access and using those, do it. Like, just add it to your resume of things. Add it. Make it a goal. Please. OMG, brand. Thanks, everyone, for the info, the insight from all the perspective. It was helpful. Got to head out, but pull you back up when I get home. Thank you so much. I will be popping in. Amnar, thank you for commenting back. I will be popping back on again in a little bit. Going to a UC school, never would have been able to afford it otherwise. Same thing for me. Same thing for me. I got my son free tuition thing, which is so amazing. Incredible. So you could tell when you gave a good presentation and a lot of info. It's a lot of people are just commenting back, if you will, on you know what I mean? Like on the info. Questions usually arise when everybody's kind of lost in the sauce. So good job, Marit, by the way. So I got you up.
Yeah, and
Go ahead.
Justin, I popped there's a corporate mailbox that I'm able to share with you. So I popped that in our Discord chat.
Yeah,
So
I could add it now.
Yeah, so if there's anybody that has like any questions, I do urge you to go through ask.va.gov for like individual specific like questions. But if there's anything like you have further questions about what I discussed, you definitely can. I manage that corporate mailbox he's going to pop in. So I encourage you. Otherwise, Justin can get you connected with me on Discord. I do these on more than just brick by brick, so I'm very familiar with connecting with people on Discord. So it's been a pleasure to be here today, Justin. Thank you so much for the invitation. And I hope this was helpful for people to get more information. And I'm going to be running a webinar series coming up starting in like, I think May. So Justin, I'll get you some information and links for registration on those webinar sessions that we're going to run. I think the first one up is like work study, which is a whole nother benefit that people can take advantage of while they're going to school. So yeah. Do you have anything else?
I have, yeah. I actually have a question. What
Sure.
about you're at a job that you want to be in career-wise, right? Let's say you're a firefighter, or let's say you're nursing, and you want to expand maybe on the job or something like that. Does VA cover courses in, like, let's say your employer says, well, we have to find funding for this, and that's the reason you can't go to school to be promoted and XYZ, and you just have to wait for the next class, and it's always an issue. Does VA cover in cases basically things to get you advanced in your career while you're at work?
Yes, the education, if you qualify for education, you could take anything. We also have the licensing and certification opportunity where you can get reimbursed for licensing and certification, or prep courses for licensing certification, or any national tests that are approved. So those things are available. Yeah. With chapter 31, it's a little bit different. Um, so that's a whole different program.
Well, yeah, you're changing
And s-
careers, right? Like, this is the whole point, because you can't do what
yeah,
you used to
yeah,
do. I guess that's
right,
the
right.
way I look at it. In my experience, I suppose. You know what I mean? I'm not the expert here. That's why I ask you. But um,
Yeah, yeah, definitely. As long as it's an approved program through the school, it's definitely stuff that you could take advantage of. And I mean, as long as you have entitlement for it.
yeah, I mean, because like my question comes from the fact that I worked in a career field where no is the go. You know what I mean? No is the go-to response. And it was always about funding. It was always about, well, the state only gives us so much. Oh, well, da, 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 But then I had like buddies I didn't even use the VA at the time. I was like, I don't know, I didn't deserve this. I didn't get, I was fighting in my own head about like, let's save the benefits for the guys who did more than me, that's plagues a lot of veterans as well. Until one of my veterans
Mm-hmm.
at VA National reached out to me and said, hey, we just built a $12 million fountain out front, dude. This money's allotted per year. It's like it's already, you signed the dotted line. That's where that came from. But on the job, I saw other veterans, a lot of veterans work with me. And they're like, I'm like, how'd you get to school? He's like, oh, VA paid for it. And then so-and-so, our boss said yes. It's like, oh, okay. So I did want to touch on that for those that might be wondering. Thank you, Marit from Peach Easy.
Yeah.
A lot of thank yous in the chat. OMG. Brand. Thank you. Lot of thank yous. A lot of thank yous. Oh, slightly hard to hear now. Yeah, I turned it down because the music was really loud when I was putting my feel-good music on for my sob story. So, yeah. I apologize for that, and I apologize that to you, Merritt. But yeah, I'm going to separate this VOD track. This video will be up permanently. You can click on it, share it with your buds. Definitely share it with people who have been beating around the bush about going to school but complain all the time about what they're doing. Do that to the fellow veterans who don't know this community. You know what I mean? And they don't got to follow or subscribe to any of that. You just share it with them because it's going to help their life. You know what I mean? So that'll be up. I'll separate this from the game. We'll do a double stream today. I'll get gaming up later. Surely, because I've been setting up something for a couple days. But that's aside. And Merritt, it has to get going. She is very busy. So she is on schedule. And I missed her last time. I want to apologize for you, with you on live, that on the mix up. I think I mixed the dates up. I was looking at it and I get a chance to tell you.
Life happens, man.
Has anybody got anything else before we go? Anything? Yeah, I ran a slot. Free Kane, bro. I read it. It's kind of funny. I didn't know you kept leaving that comment. And I finally looked at it. I was like, oh, great, bro. Way to get me all emotionally charged up for the day. It's kind of funny. You're a funny bastard. All right, man. I think that's it, Merritt. If you want to get going.
All right.
It's good on you.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Seriously. Thank you so much for this.
Of course. Have a great day.
Yeah,
Bye,
absolutely. And thank you, Donnie the GOAT. Freaking awesome. All right, man. That's going to wrap it up. I want to thank Pat and I want to thank Gwendy. And I got to look at I do got to look really quickly at the activity feed. But there was a bunch of Twitch action going on. So Gwendy, 10 to the channel, and most of them being in literally this chat. So greatly appreciate it. I feel like the numbers, I think it might be 11 actually. I think the numbers, the bot's off by one. So Gwendy, thank you so much for the 11 of the channel, and all that you've given during the stream in and of itself. It might have been 10 this stream. So thank you for the hype train. And also, Pat, thank you for the 5 as well. All of you that were in here, hit a lot of people that were watching, and I'm really, really grateful that happened. And so thank you to everyone. I'm just going through the notifications to make sure I didn't miss any of any of the subs or bits or anything like that. You guys are legendary. Like that's really helpful to a lot of people. A lot of people were listening and didn't miss that YouTube, between YouTube and Twitch. So yeah, I'll be back. If you give me some time here, I shall be back. DayZ for tonight, man. That'll be my thing, and probably doing some high risk, high reward PvP stuff, looting some different areas. But yeah, surviving the apocalypse with my fellow veterans, trying to convince them to come play. Hit me up in the Discord. If anybody's, let me know what you guys are doing tonight. And we got anything interesting going on today before I shut down? Scotty is streaming for Dansk right now. We can rate Scotty, dude. I don't know if I follow him, bro, because we just play together. This music might be a little bit loud. See, I had it last minute tech. What's Scotty's channel, bro? Is he on Twitch or he's got to be on YouTube? He's only a YouTuber, right? I love that. That man's got the greatest voice. I do believe my redirect has been real funny lately. I don't know what it is. Close that. Set it up here. And again, thank you, Pat, for making this freaking a lot of my stream and a lot of my visual quality possible, man. Shout out Elevated Images, SEAL Team Pat. You guys are incredible for coming in here and being so engaging. Really makes, because I don't think what some of you guys realize is that like your guys' questions and comments get viewed by a lot of other people who are quiet. And so when that happens, yeah, like you're really helping somebody else, if that makes sense. I don't know if I've just lost redirects, if I shut them off or what, dude. Raids basically for YouTube. But I don't see like live, alternate lifestyle, veteran education, paper content. I may have to go to my studio. Let me mess with this for a second. And I'm sorry, you don't have to stick around if you don't want to. I'm going to read the comments real quick before I do. Okay, I think we're good. But I'm going to go over to SEAL Team Pat. Gotta search Scotty doesn't know Call of Duty. He doesn't. I told him he abandoned us, and he still hasn't stopped by. That's the funnier part, though, about it. Let me pull up Studio. YouTube. Dylan was on earlier. He seemed pretty happy. Looked like he was having a lot of fun in DMZ. Quicks is on. So community. Wait a minute. It's in settings community. Community. Wait. Channel. Defaults. Permissions. Okay. Community moderation. Live redirects. All channels can redirect to mine. Well, how the hell do I redirect? Why is it not working? Moderation. I don't know. That's really weird. I might have to look that up after the stream because I don't like not being able to raid somebody. Yo, Cherry, what's good? I don't even think I think I might have missed you for the first time. Am I just like, have I just forgotten where to go? I thought it was in customization. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know where this crap went. I'm going to go look this up after I get off here. And then when I pop back on, we'll figure it out. I mean, it doesn't make a ton of sense to redirect right now. I want to raid Scotty, but yeah. I literally don't have a way to redirect the stream. I just don't pop out dashboard. Maybe that would let me do it. That might be, this might be the way to go.
100S just became a brick by brick warrior.
Okay, let me look at this real quick. Okay, stream settings. Should have been, maybe I haven't been enabled auto start. Shopping. I don't see it. I literally don't see it. I don't know why. Because I don't not want to raid. Okay. Afternoon, y'all. Go to customization. So go to edit. Go to customization. I'm there. There is nothing. I have reactions, message delay. It's always been here. And I don't see it. Live chat, participant modes, reaction, message delay. What's up, Rain? Go to redirect. I'm there. It's just not possible. I'm there. I'm there. There's literally nothing. It's like I don't have redirects turned on. That's the way I feel. What is going on? Scroll down. I mean, I did scroll down, went to the bottom. I'm scrolled to the bottom of it. Under message delay. It just says edit moderated blacklisted words. Shadow ban. Albert 100, what's up? What's a GI Bill? I think you wrote Gil Bill, but I think you meant GI Bill. So what you, for serving, like when you serve the country as a soldier, Marine, sailor, airman, you know what I mean? Or Space Force DN or Coastie. You have access to a GI Bill. You get education benefits for free for serving your country. Or I don't know if maybe you're being sarcastic, and if you serve, you probably don't know. I'm guessing, but yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it, Rain. I guess it is. I'll have to look up like what is going on. But I'm in my let's see, my YouTube, customized channel. I have like redirects set to come to my channel. Settings. Maybe I have to like put myself as a moderator. Let's try that. So irritating. Nope. Won't do it. You'll text it to me? Thank you. I'm looking at it. But it changed. That's why. It's because I don't have 1,000 subs. I was able to redirect before, but now because I don't have 1,000 subs. So we need, if you're not subscribed to YouTube, hit subscribe. We're close. We're like 860. That's why. That is why. Try banning Rain and see if it helps. Dude. Oh my God, you're so stupid, dude. You're so stupid. It's too funny. Click content, go to live tab, hover over premiere video you want to redirect from, edit. All right, let's try that. I mean, I was doing this content live. Details. I think I already did edit. Customization. Yeah, I can't do it even from YouTube Studio. That's so crazy. So I had it before. I'm not grandfathered in. They just literally yeah, that's insane. I got something you can ban, Ranslot, these nuts. All right, I'm going to raid on Twitch then and call that. We'll do that from there. Who am I following that's live right now? Perfectly average. Hey, Barnby. Ah, I hate Barnby. He's a pretty legendary. Timmy Toucans. Tim Tatman Shroud. Game of Mommy. XQC. He's only streaming to 22,000 people. You don't need it. Cleans on. Armory Forger. Timmy Toucan's only streaming to 800 people. Oh, yeah. But I can't redirect. I can't redirect the Lullaby. I can't redirect to anybody till I hit 1,000 subs. We need a sub push. Like, share it with all your friends and ask them to sub. We need like 140 subs. How many do we need total? We need a few. Brick by Bricks, your channel. 846. We actually need 154. 154 subs. Only 22K on Twitch too. Is crazy. That's like 200,000 on YouTube. YouTube is just the go-to. Like, you could be streaming on Twitch to like 200 people, but that's like streaming to 2,000 on YouTube because YouTube is so much more easily accessible to people in general. Neither here nor there, which is better. It's just the fact that YouTube is on everything. Casual BR is actually fun, man. Well, there's a couple of people playing that, but I was just figuring I could raid at least on Twitch. I'm going to raid Barnby. He's not a veteran. He's from the UK, but he's really enjoyable to watch. And he is really, really fun to watch. He is blown up like massively. Probably one of the most interesting, like, storytelling, funny dudes. Got a lot of interesting moments. So I'm going to send it to him. I'm going to start that raid. And we're going to go say what's up to him. Usually, I got to do my research and find who streams on Regiment. And we'll go hit up somebody from Regiment next time, but try to be in the category. Barb is hot on YouTube. So he's on Twitch too. So we're going to hook him up with Twitch because typically a lot of YouTube creators struggle on Twitch or have a lot less viewers on. That's a good example because like Fresh Bonds has a ton of viewers on YouTube and a minimal amount compared on Twitch. They're growing very fast. They have a ton, don't get me wrong. But it's just that like 10x difference. And you see that a lot for people who just realize that they wanted to make it accessible to everybody. So, yeah. But I'm going to rate them on Twitch because I can't redirect on YouTube because the YouTube's too new. And the YouTube channel's old, but I just started streaming in January on YouTube. See, I did the opposite. I streamed on Twitch and then moved to YouTube. So, anyways, Twitch folks, I'm heading you out. Say what's up in Barnby stream. You guys are legendary. I'll see you guys in a few hours on DayZ. Peace. And all you YouTube folks, same goes to y'all. Appreciate you guys. I'm going to be cutting stream here. Thank you, Rain. Thank you, Rance, a lot. Love you guys to death. Have a great freaking night, boys.
I need the...
It is insane. I can't believe I got cut out. All right. Later, y'all. Still got it in me, dude.
I don't know what